Each and every relationship, whether it be with friends, romantic partners, or members of one's own family, is built on the solid foundation of trust. There is no requirement for a complicated and in-depth study when it comes to evaluating the people who are in our immediate vicinity. It is essential to pay attention to the words and actions of another person in order to gain an understanding of who they truly are. In this video, I will discuss 9 different categories of individuals who could be considered risky to trust. The time has come to raise a yellow flag of caution in the event that you observe behaviors that are suspicious in someone. It is possible that it would be unwise to consider this individual to be a genuine friend or a partner for life. When I say that I do not respect someone, I am not suggesting that I insult them or to treat them in an inappropriate manner. That goes against the teachings of Stoicism, which emphasize respect and understanding. I am referring to the ability to recognize when it is appropriate to put some distance between yourself and individuals whose questionable behaviors could potentially have a negative impact on your well-being. It is not about causing disagreements or being impolite, rather, it is about safeguarding your tranquility and your life from the influence of unfavorable factors. The ability to recognize these patterns and to recognize when it is appropriate to take a step back is a valuable skill for maintaining a life that is more peaceful and healthy. We are going to delve even further into this matter in the following section. Those individuals who have a natural tendency to criticize other people are the first type of person that should be avoided at all costs. It has come to your attention that certain individuals appear to possess a kind of flaw radar, as they are always ready to point out the shortcomings of other people. Rather than revealing much about the people who are being criticized, this attitude reveals a great deal about the critic themselves. Their own insecurities and limitations are brought to light when they concentrate on the negative aspects of other people. Most of the time, these critics do not pay attention to their own lives. Instead of engaging in activities that are beneficial to themselves or taking care of themselves, they allow themselves to become engulfed in a sea of gossip and comments that are insensitive. If someone is talking about other people to you, there is a good chance that they are also talking about you when you are not present. This is something you should be aware of. The majority of the time, these individuals are not involved in significant responsibilities or undertaking personal projects. Instead, they reveal a life that is devoid of much purpose or personal satisfaction through the negative attitudes that they exhibit. The negative aspects of other people's lives are what they cling to rather than working on developing something positive for themselves. Therefore, it is of the utmost importance to exercise discretion in the individuals with whom we share our stories, dreams, and plans. Those who thrive on criticism and gossip are not the most trustworthy companions for our secrets and aspirations because they rely on them to thrive. It is possible that they will use your details as a form of currency in their subsequent gossip session. For this reason, I would like to suggest that you keep a safe distance from people who behave in this manner. Whenever you come across individuals who take pleasure in speaking ill of others, it is important to keep in mind that their behavior may be a reflection of their own limitations and dissatisfactions, and you certainly do not want that to be a part of your life. Cultivate relationships that are founded on mutual support, positivity, and respect for one another. After all, life is a lot more fulfilling when we are surrounded by people who support and encourage us, rather than those who bring us down. Those individuals who appear to have friends with everyone else are the second type of person that is intriguing. In this context, I am referring to the person who always has a smile on their face, encourages others, and is willing to lend a helping hand whenever and wherever they are needed. People like these are frequently regarded as the life of the party because they are well-liked and extremely outgoing. However, here is a piece of advice: exercise caution before putting your faith in them. What is the reason for this caution? It is not uncommon for people who strive to please everyone to be more concerned with preserving their own image and popularity than they are with cultivating genuine relationships. It is possible that, in their eyes, you are nothing more than a face among the crowd, a participant in a game in which the objective is to garner as much attention and confirmation as possible. People who are like this have a tendency to never stop looking for attention and companionship, but only on a superficial level. In the world of illusions that they inhabit, the quantity of friendships appears to be more valuable than the quality of those friendships for them. Relationships can be as fleeting as they are numerous to the extent that this scenario is concerned. To put it another way, someone who has the impression of being your closest friend right now might be able to take your place without a second thought tomorrow. Consequently, here is a piece of advice when interacting with people who are extremely outgoing and popular. It is important to exercise a certain degree of caution. It goes without saying that not everyone is like this, but in a world where outward appearances frequently speak louder than words, it is prudent to guard both your heart and your confidences. Those individuals who demonstrate a genuine interest in you as a person, rather than merely viewing you as another contact in their extensive social network, should be valued. In the end, the quality of a friendship is more important than the quantity of the friendship. It is important to pay particular attention to the manipulator, who is the third type of person we will now discuss. This is an important warning for the purpose of maintaining healthy relationships and safeguarding our emotional well-being. In order to accomplish their objectives, manipulators frequently resort to strategies such as lying, playing psychological games, and exploiting people's emotions. They are experts at putting their own interests ahead of everything else. Because they behave in such a subtle manner, it is frequently difficult to recognize their intentions right away. There are many facets of our lives that are susceptible to manipulation, which can have an impact on everything from our personal relationships to the environment in which we hold our jobs. When you put your faith in someone who is manipulative, you run the risk of being betrayed, suffering severe emotional damage, and having your trust broken completely. Therefore, it is of the utmost importance to recognize manifestations of manipulation, which include a lack of transparency, behaviors that are inconsistent with one another, and the unsettling sensation of being controlled. For the purpose of self-protection, establishing clear boundaries is essential. This entails communicating in a confident manner and expressing discomfort when confronted with manipulative behavior. Distancing yourself from the situation may be the most effective strategy in certain circumstances, particularly if the manipulation is ongoing. Having the ability to recognize when a relationship is causing more harm than good is an essential component of respecting your own integrity. To achieve this, it is sometimes necessary to have the bravery to sever ties with manipulative individuals and look for emotional support in other places. Not only is it a form of self-defense to avoid trusting and respecting manipulators, but it is also an essential step toward developing relationships that are healthier and more genuine. In order to pave the way for more honest and genuine relationships, it is important to be aware of the signs of manipulation, to establish clear boundaries, and to prioritize your own emotional well-being. It is important to keep in mind that your mental and emotional well-being is extremely valuable, and you have the right to be surrounded by people who respect and value that. In the event that you are having fun with this, you should not pass up the chance. With the purchase of the e-book Stoicism in the 21st Century Ancient Strategies for Modern Challenges, you will be able to unlock your prosperity, abundance, and improved relationships. Find the link in the comment that has been pinned. The individual who demonstrates a particularly striking lack of empathy is the fourth category of person that we need to discuss. Individuals who are willing to deceive or cause harm to others in order to accomplish their own objectives are the subject of this discussion. Empathy, which is the remarkable capacity to put oneself in the position of another person and comprehend the emotions that they are experiencing, is something that these individuals simply do not possess, and the fact that they do not possess it makes them significantly less trustworthy. Imagine this: a person who is truly empathetic will give careful consideration before inflicting pain on another individual, because they are able to experience, to some degree, the suffering that their actions may cause. Having empathy serves as a defense mechanism against negative attitudes. When someone, on the other hand, has no problem inflicting pain on other people, it is a glaring indication that they lack empathy. These individuals, in addition to having a propensity to cause harm, frequently fail to accept responsibility for the actions that they take. Individuals who are not trustworthy are typically self-centered and prioritize their own interests over those of others and everything else. The consequences of their actions are frequently disregarded by them, as they are solely concerned with themselves and their requirements. Consequently, it is essential to be aware of these potential warning signs. Mutual understanding, respect, and understanding are the foundations upon which healthy relationships are constructed. When a person is lacking in empathy, it is highly likely that they are also lacking in respect and consideration, which are essential components of any kind of relationship. When it comes to protecting yourself from potential disappointments and unnecessary suffering, one of the most important steps is to recognize when someone lacks empathy when it comes to you. In order to cultivate an atmosphere that is both supportive and trustworthy, it is essential to surround yourself with people who are able to comprehend and appreciate the emotions of everyone else. The individual who acts as if they are paying attention or pretending to listen is the fifth type of person that we are going to talk about. Have you ever had the experience of conversing with someone who responded with a hazy "I understand" or "that's true," but was obviously not engaged in the conversation by the time you finished your sentence? The current circumstance is not only aggravating, but it also has the potential to be interpreted as a form of disrespect. This situation becomes even more precarious when the person who appears to be attentive actually becomes distracted by their phone or gives responses that are predetermined, demonstrating a glaring lack of interest in what is being said. When two people are having a conversation, it is expected that both of them will be attentive and involved. However, if this does not occur, the dialogue will no longer serve its intended purpose. In situations like these, it is essential to keep in mind that you do not have to force yourself to carry on a conversation with someone who is obviously not interested in what you have to say. In the event that you find yourself having a conversation with someone who is perpetually distracted, particularly by their phone, demonstrating genuine inattention, it is perfectly acceptable to terminate the conversation. When all is said and done, conversation is a two-way street, and it is illogical to continue a dialogue that is only going in one direction. Investing your time and energy in someone who does not value what you have to say is not something you should feel obligated to do. It is not only acceptable but also appropriate to terminate that interaction or even to openly communicate your decision to withdraw. Keep in mind that treating the other person with respect during a conversation is absolutely necessary, and this includes paying attention to what they are saying. For example, if someone chooses to pretend to listen while getting distracted by things like their phone, they are not showing the respect that you deserve. In these kinds of circumstances, you have every right to decide that you do not want to continue squandering your valuable time. The sixth category of individuals who are deserving of our attention is the individual who appears to be perpetually engulfed in problems and conflicts. This person has the perspective that life is a never-ending string of challenges, and that each day brings a new obstacle to overcome. There is a good chance that you have come across someone who is like this. They are never content. They are constantly complaining, but they do not take any steps to improve their circumstances. Do not be fooled by the fact that this individual appears to be experiencing a never-ending string of unfortunate events. These persistent issues are frequently the result of the individual's own decisions and actions, and they are not simply the result of a coincidence or fortuitous occurrences. The vicious cycle of adversity is comprised of a number of factors, including the inability to take responsibility, the failure to learn from previous mistakes, and the making of poor decisions. There are times when interacting with someone like this can be difficult. Unless you exercise caution, you run the risk of being sucked into the whirlwind of problems that they are experiencing. It is also possible that these individuals have difficulty controlling their feelings, which only serves to make the situation worse. Remember that it is simple to become engrossed in the problematic narrative that this individual is telling, even if you feel compelled to offer assistance. Their seemingly never-ending problems can fast become a burden in your own life if you allow them to continue. There are challenges that each of us must face, and we do not need to add the challenges of another person to the mix. Consequently, when dealing with individuals who appear to attract trouble on a consistent basis, it is prudent to keep a certain distance from them, or at the very least employ a certain degree of skepticism. It is of the utmost importance to have the understanding that the origin of many of these various challenges may lie in the actions and decisions that the individual has made. Ultimately, you want to avoid having their problems become your own by preventing them from occurring. Here, exercising caution is a useful tool that can assist you in maintaining your emotional well-being and preventing your life from becoming filled with unneeded drama. The seventh category of people that we are going to talk about today is quite peculiar: the person who appears to have the ability to irritate other people simply by being present. It is true that I am referring to the individual who is convinced that they are always right and who is always adamant about being right. My guess is that you've come across someone similar to this before. It is natural to experience feelings of impatience at certain points in one's life, particularly during times of upheaval. But what happens when this irritation is persistent, even on days when the weather is calm, simply because you are in close proximity to this person? That should serve as a cautionary sign. Without us even being aware of it, these individuals have the ability to provoke, to throw out ideas that are confusing, and to create doubts without us even being aware of it. It is a subtle emotional and psychological game that takes place gradually, almost without leaving any traces behind. The most intriguing aspect of this is that there are some individuals who engage in this behavior solely for the purpose of provoking others, without any apparent reason. It is of the utmost importance to be conscious of these maneuvers, these word plays, and these gestures that we frequently fail to recognize. The reason that someone is able to irritate you with a frequency that is almost on a regular basis is because that person is looking at you in a way that is almost barely noticeable. Consequently, the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is the significance of being aware of these intricate dynamics. Acquiring the ability to recognize and respond to situations like these in a conscientious manner is of the utmost importance. I'll expand on how to accomplish this in the following section of this article. Keep an eye out. Toxic individuals are the eighth category of people that you should avoid as much as possible. You are probably familiar with those individuals who appear to possess the ability to deplete your energy and spread negativity wherever they choose to go. They're like a cloud of gloom on a bright and sunny day. Because of the importance of maintaining healthy relationships and your emotional well-being, it is essential that you keep your distance from them. People who are toxic are constantly engaging in toxic behaviors such as manipulating feelings, spreading destructive criticism, and acting disrespectfully. Your happiness and productivity may suffer as a result of their presence, which can also contribute to the creation of a heavy atmosphere. The worst part of it all: this negativity is like a virus. It spreads rapidly and ends up contaminating those who are in its vicinity. Having the ability to recognize the signs is essential when dealing with toxic people. Your self-esteem is harmed as a result of their tendency to feed your insecurities and give you doubts. Establishing clear boundaries, being assertive in communication, and expressing discomfort in the face of harmful behavior are all essential components of respecting oneself. In addition, if the negative energy persists in spite of these efforts, it is imperative that you remove yourself from the situation in order to safeguard your mental health. When it comes to dealing with toxic people, engaging in emotional self-defense is a true art. In order to create a healthier and more enriching environment for yourself, it is essential to take the steps of recognizing these destructive patterns, establishing boundaries, and concentrating on developing positive relationships. When it comes to the ninth category of individuals, it is best to maintain a safe distance from them, the infamously fair-weather friend. For example, the person who appears to be very kind to you but who, behind your back, is spreading rumors and gossip about you. They are out there, so it is important to keep a watchful eye out for them. It is not unusual to suddenly become aware of rumors that are being spread about you, only to later discover that these friends are not as friendly as they initially appeared to be. These individuals have an extraordinary capacity to change their attitude in a short amount of time. They are smiling and chatting with you one moment, and then the next they are talking behind your back on the other side of the room. As soon as you become aware of this kind of behavior, the most effective course of action is to put some distance between yourself and the person. Please keep in mind that sincerity and integrity are the cornerstones of any relationship that is healthy. It can be extremely detrimental to your health to maintain close relationships with people who are dishonest and wear masks. Consequently, the protection of your tranquility and well-being ought to ever be your top priority. If you become aware of this double standard, the best course of action is to remove yourself from the situation. Keeping your distance from these individuals can help you avoid a great deal of trouble and headaches in the future. Please leave a comment below if there is any other category of person that we have neglected to mention, or if you have ever interacted with any of the types of people that we discussed in the video. Please share your experience in the comment section. I sincerely hope that this message has been of some assistance to you. I would be extremely appreciative if you could give the video a like, as it would be of great assistance to both of us. You should also take advantage of this opportunity to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, as this channel will be of great assistance to you in the future. Not only is it of great significance, but it does not cost much. I am appreciative of your participation. We have prepared a unique video for you to watch right now, and by doing so, you will be able to expand your personal knowledge of Stoicism.